Welcome back, folks, to 709 Meridian and the Summer of Duologies. We are your hosts. This is Dee and Andrew.
Hello.
And we are doing commentaries this time around on films that didn't quite warrant an entire franchise. So you got a solo movie that did well enough, made enough money, got a sequel, and that's where they stopped. So, just in case you guys aren't in the know, we will have an unsynced version of this commentary to go alongside our feature-length commentary, which you guys can follow along if you like.
Yes, and then after the movie, we will announce the next couple, and we're pretty excited, actually. We've got a good list coming up, so this first month or two or whatever it's going to be pretty good. And so we're finishing up the Teen Wolves tonight, and I think based on what we've come up with for the rest of the coming episodes, Teen Wolf 2 will be the bottom. So everything's up from there, baby.
Yeah, everything's up from the bottom.
All right.
Oh, sorry, Jason Bateman, but damn.
Yeah. Sorry about that, buddy.
Yeah.
No Jason Bateman tonight. Just Michael J. Fox.
We got who's that? The MJF. Michael J. Fox in a classic film that a lot of people very much like this. I prefer this over, whatever that MTV in name only junk is. But yeah. Yes. Teen Wolf, folks.
Teen Wolf. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
2, 1, play. Okay, folks, so you might be starting with an MGM or you might be starting with an Atlantic releasing. They're timed the same, so you'll be fine. But now we've got Thomas Coleman and Michael Rosenblatt presenting Michael J. Fox in
Teen Wolf. This brilliant intro.
Which I think has got to be...
Wow, Scott Paulin.
Oh, yeah.
Building.
No, it's not. Yeah.
You look fine.
We'll get to Scott Paulin. This intro's got to be like when they're trying to play up the horror aspect that the second one never does. But this one's only coming a few years after American Werewolf and The Howling. So this is your only PG werewolf movie of the 80s, right? Until this, that was it.
And it's coming in close after Ghostbusters, so it could be, I guess you could say that horror comedy,
right?
Type.
We'll have some things to say about the music by Miles Goodman, I'm sure. And the songs.
It's actually not bad.
The original songs. Yeah, the music's better than some of the songs. Jeff Loeb and Matthew Wiseman. I don't know. Jeff Loeb, did he ever write any other movies that got produced?
The name looks familiar, though.
Rod Daniel.
All
right. And then, what was that noise? That noise is...
Come on,
hurry up.
Lean into it, Mike. Oh.
We still haven't established. It's a dribbling basketball. Sorry, folks. I can't wait. We got too much slow motion here. So...
5'1" Michael J. Fox on the basketball team already is.
Yeah, they don't. We mostly only see Chubby and Michael J. Fox, but they actually do have other.
Yeah, there's other players.
There are other players who are in better shape, and not comically not basketball players. There's
Jay Tarsi.
Jay Tarsi.
Coach Finstock. Big Mick.
He'll be the villain.
Okay, there's the one guy. 23. Hey, the man. Hey, look.
Yeah.
It's Troy Evans. And he's not playing a sheriff, or he could be.
So yes, they don't. Do they say that it's set in Nebraska or somewhere? It's filmed in Pasadena, so actually, it's going to look a lot like Halloween 2. I like how the guy the coach's assistant basically looks like what's his name? Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh God. It's probably his dad. Shit.
Yes, unlike the sequel, there's a bunch of basketball in this.
And
here we go. Chariots of Fire. R.I.P. Vangelis.
It's just central.
And lots of slow motion in this too. I think they probably got 3 or 4 minutes out of it thanks to slow-mo.
Wow.
And so Michael J. Fox made this after Back to the Future, right?
He made it before.
There's Doug Savant, who
Melrose Place's Doug Savant.
Yes. He'll get screwed in the third act, actually. Yeah.
See, Chubby, he likes to eat.
He likes to eat. He likes to eat liverwurst sandwiches. That's a totally normal thing.
McDonald's logo behind the Gatorade bottle on the bag. There we go. Here comes the party.
Now the sidekick there, can't remember what his name is. He's actually appropriately aged. So all these other guys are in their mid-20s.
20s.
The weird little
wow.
Yep.
It's Corey Feldman's rat tail.
Is that Richard Brooks?
That is Richard Brooks.
It is? Oh my God.
A little 80s politically incorrect humor there.
Yeah. So you really get to appreciate Jay Tart. Oh, shit. This one, they had Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, Kentucky Fried.
Not in the second one.
No. The second one, it was just chicken, fried chicken, in a KFC box.
Santa Anita, November 1984. Are they going to say it's set in Nebraska, or am I making that up?
They mentioned the town. They just don't say where it is, I don't think. Beacontown.
Yeah, so without having seen who is it in the second one? Whoever they recast this guy as.
Paul Sand. God.
You don't get this. You don't really understand until you see this one what they're trying to go for. Just with this disinterested. Paul Sand comes off a little more absent-minded. Yeah, this guy is intentionally
just doesn't give a damn.
No, yeah, he's ignoring.
He's only half even. All crippled up.
What? There's this other thing that he's not incompetent. It's weird.
No.
Like, he's not an incompetent coach. His team's he's just saddled with
his team just sucks. Yeah, he has to deal with them.
That's the Santa Anita racetrack there. So they've got a Husker. Oh, yeah, that's why. The Husker Power bumper sticker or whatever that was on the wall. I think that's Nebraska. Okay.
Boof, everybody's favorite girlfriend of the 80s. Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's definitely a Haddonfield.
Yeah, I don't know that we intentionally only watch things filmed in Pasadena, but sure managed to. So they waited until Back to the Future came out to release this, or there was some deal with it, right? Like,
yeah. Well, the thing was, Michael J. Fox had filmed this as just kind of a fluke, and then there was that whole just legendary story on how he was actually who they wanted for Marty and Back to the Future. And then the studio went with
Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
Problem was the producers didn't want Eric Stoltz. They still really wanted Michael J. Fox. Their second choice was C. Thomas Howell, who the studio, I guess, was completely against. So the studio was pushing Eric Stoltz.
Okay.
So they got Stoltz, and Michael J. Fox kept working on Family Ties till finally he had a moment where he could divide his time between the show. It was when Meredith Baxter was pregnant.
That's right. Yeah.
So somebody put in a word to Spielberg, and Spielberg, put a word into Universal, and they totally got rid of Eric Stoltz. And the rest is history. Future history.
The second movie needed this kind of shit. It needed this, like, something's going on.
Something's up, but we don't quite
right. But he's experiencing it. Like in the second one, we get the retreads. He already knows. Yeah, there's that
he's
too.
Aware of the family curse, but he's sure it's not him. But
there's that truck. Yeah. Okay, and so now we will.
And Michael J. Fox is just genius all the way, for something he claims he really didn't want to do. He's 100% in it.
He always works, though. That's kind of the thing with Michael J. Fox is he always works. Like,
he's always good.
Yeah. And
I've never seen him miserable on screen.
Before this, it was just TV movies, right?
Uh,
What was it? Grandview?
Midnight Madness.
When was that? Wasn't there? What?
That was 80. Midnight Madness and Class of 1984 was 82.
Wasn't?
Yeah.
Wasn't there one called like not Poison Ivy, but what was the one
Poison
with
Ivy.
Poison
That
Ivy?
was a TV movie.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there was that High School USA. Those were TV movies.
That's one. That's the one I was thinking of, I think.
Yeah, with Anthony Edwards and Todd Bridges. There we go. Scott Paulin playing
the
drama teacher
who only has one student, and
you kind of wonder what's going on with them.
No, I don't wonder. He's molesting her, obviously. He said he based this performance on his like father-in-law or something, which seemed like an odd compliment. Wow. Yeah. Because
he's saying his father-in-law is melodramatic as well.
Yeah. This is going to be
wow.
There's more. Is this PG? It's PG. There's more PG. Implied. There's more definite. Well, the second one has some pretty definite sex going on, but this one does too. Like, but there's a publicity still. We'll talk about it later. I don't want to spoil it, but
but there's also tons of additional footage,
right? And cut scenes,
cut scenes like this here. They show Styles make another attempt at some point. I remember in the TV version before.
This is, of course, hilarious because Styles was 26, so they should have let him buy booze at 18.
Do you see the camera? Is there a camera in his
reflection there?
I think I see a camera.
They don't repeat any of the music in the second one, which I find weird.
And there's a little Lewis. It's the sidekick. Here we go. Mr. James Hampton. You know, he would have made a good Paul Kent.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have. If they'd done like who Superboy did they have?
Yeah, they had it was Stuart Whitman.
Oh,
James Hampton actually was on an episode of Superboy. He was the basketball coach, ironically. See, Pop is already showing he has senses, and
I just assumed he knew that
he would be wearing an
obnoxious t-shirt. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this one's closer to PG-13 than the second one in terms of dialogue.
Oh yeah, this is I think it was probably in the can and shot before the you know what I mean? MPAA probably passed it before PG-13, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, for the 80s, they hadn't really
We're
decided what they were
testing it
going
out.
to cut
Yeah,
down
the first
on.
couple years was kind of because this was shot early. This was
Yeah.
definitely 84.
I mean, the town's not very big. You'd think they would have gone out of town to try to find somebody to buy booze.
Yeah.
RC Cola. Yeah, hell yeah. RC Cola, the official cola of the Teen Wolf, the 80s. And RC Cola. God.
Here we go now.
I'd forgotten this was the sort of eye reveal. And it's like, I'm not sure. Well, no, it's just like this is just a weird plot point. This is a weird thing to get out of your werewolf eyes. Like,
how was this not Don Knotts? That would have been hilarious. But then again, Don Knotts probably was still a name.
yeah, the Troy
What would it be a
Evans
team? What?
cameo. Yeah.
Okay. Now, as we're cruising in these cars here, keep an eye on location.
Are they going in a circle?
Pretty much. It'll definitely be noticeable once they do the stunt here.
Okay. Well, is this where we see the traffic cop? There's a traffic cop.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So how they did not duplicate this in the second one, I don't understand. Like, had people been trying this?
They did a big song and dance sequence, man.
Don't. Nope.
They had montages.
Yeah.
Teen Wolf got to drive around in a red sports car.
Well, it's just kind of like this Teen Wolf, Back to the Future. It's sort of, there were these mid 80s, not just Michael J. Fox movies, but it's like this was a famous sequence, right? Mm-hmm. How they did not duplicate it for the second one, Jack in the Box. One of these shots we're going to cut, and you can see the traffic cop on the right. There he is. Traffic cop.
Yeah, on the bike.
Yep. And the Jack in the Box again. So whoa. Could have gone a lot worse for Styles there.
For real. He could have rolled off the Styles could have been in the middle of the road somewhere.
It's a very dark twist of Teen Wolf. Styles just fucking dies right now. They're just like, oh shit.
Oh, there we go. You never catch me up there.
The 80s party scene that, though, I think the house party scene continued for
Oh, yeah.
a few more
like,
decades than this. Like,
this is the zenith of every teen movie almost.
Okay, so all of the songs in this movie, they're not performed by people you've heard of, but they're all written by the composer. So the soundtrack, which came out on LP and is available for listening on YouTube to the point that nobody took it down, right? Like,
yeah, because it was rare for years.
But
it was one of those holy grail soundtracks.
The mix of styles and all that was intentional for the.
See how Booth just melts into the shot?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And now the sort of having everybody being 25 sort of makes Styles and them being younger than these other kids. I think they're supposed to be college kids, but then Styles basically runs the party, which I find interesting.
Right, Styles suddenly becomes the man.
He's the MC of the party, yet they couldn't. He had to bring a keg to get in.
I didn't get that at all.
Chubby's there. I feel like Chubby, they would have sold to Chubby.
Looking like somebody's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
There's the...
Yep, there's Jesse Eisenberg.
And she's somebody too, right? The chick. She looks familiar.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I think for a lot of people in this, Teen Wolf was the peak of their career, and after this, it was USA Up All Night. Have you type
ever
stuff.
Seen Mick in anything else again?
Did some other stuff actually. I looked him up.
Did he? Wow.
Yeah, but he was already like 28 when he did this. So, he was on Knots Landing for half a season or something, right? Geez. Yeah, like.
Yeah. Episodic television.
He's a much better.
Well.
Stuff
that could never happen now.
No. Yeah.
Movie, especially with kids.
Booth gets Malcolm, whose name comes up throughout this. Who is Malcolm? I don't think he's like somebody we ever meet, but he's in the background apparently. So I'm going to guess that
he's
Malcolm
the other
is
guy
Jesse
on the basketball
Eisenberg.
team. But
yeah, Doug Savant is too cool to go to this thing.
Wow. A girl who knows what she wants.
Yes, so we're gonna. Scott and Booth's relationship is very weird in this, in that she pursues him, and all of their friends think they should be together, but he would rather pursue.
Right, he's got his head in the clouds
with no encouragement from.
Oh, look at a 40-year-old senior back there.
Mm-hmm. There's multiple guys with male pattern baldness, like.
Hairlines like N64 controllers. Yeah. This is a dope song, though. Uh,
Uh-huh.
this is one of those so obvious things that should have happened between those two. Oh.
Yep.
So Mick just, bum rushed himself in there.
Yep. That's another thing that this, like, about what's her name? Pamela?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that she, like, makes a dick to her. Like, and she's acknowledges it. It's there's a lot
Yeah,
more
there's really
thought
no
in
real
the
perks to being with him.
no. There's a lot more character to the teenagers than, especially in the first half. Like,
Yeah. I think that's to make up for, like, lack of big special effects or whatever.
uh-oh.
Wow. Mm. Oh yeah, they upgraded the van for the second one, I think. Yes. Here we have the thriller-esque music.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good too. Now, up until this point, we've already seen The Howling and American
American
Werewolf,
Werewolf.
the big transformation sequence.
But what can you do without Rob Bottin and Rick Baker?
Exactly. This isn't bad though.
No. Like, it was a surprise how the second one does not, like, they don't even get this level, right? Like,
No, they show him halfway, and then he's like, the next time they see him, he's got the full thing on.
but there's no loss of control with the werewolf thing. We've never, like, that's not, is this the first? This is definitely the first one I can think of that has it. You just werewolf out, but you retain your personality.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know any of the other ones where.
They also just have a good, like, wig for it, right? Like, the
Yeah,
hair looks good.
the hair matches.
Yeah. But by the second one, yeah, Michael J. Fox was not going to be doing makeup again. Like,
No, he was going to be, if they ever actually pulled it off and got him in the movie, it would be like Jennifer Lawrence in those later X-Men movies. They have to spray paint a werewolf on him or use a stand-in. Just patch hair on his face.
It's so funny to think that in the 80s, like a TV actor would be saying no to makeup, right? Like now everybody, like pretty much.
Well, now it's reversal. See, a lot of movie actors are going to TV.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like nobody's going to say no to to this. Certainly not somebody who started on TV. Like
no,
and that's it. There's no puberty metaphor. There's no. It's a metaphor-free werewolf, right? Like. Have some Ovaltine or whatever.
That's quick.
There you go.
Wow.
Great power and great responsibility. Stan Lee was probably so pissed off.
I can see him in the theater. Son of a bitch. Now, in the cartoon, they explain that Scott's transformations are akin to epileptic seizures.
Wow. Okay.
And it was to sort of teach kids that it's okay to,
Gotcha. Well, there's also no full moon in this, right? Like,
well, there was the one.
Was there one? Okay. All right. Which will, Styles being too messy to live will, of course, be one of the few things they repeat for the next one. She smells his pheromones.
Right. She's starting to notice them for no reason.
It's convenient that the entire cast has a locker in the same row.
Right in a row, yeah.
Uh-huh. Just wait until we discover what the show is.
Oh my God.
I think that's my favorite of his t-shirts.
The shirt, yeah.
I think
somebody was selling those.
I'm sure.
They got to be selling those somewhere. Like 80s tees, probably.
So we have a classroom scene, not like any horror movie classroom scene, right? Like,
at least he didn't look out the window and see a wolf like waving at him.
There's a group of dogs waiting for him to come out and play.
Right. Well, there's again a cut scene where he's like being followed home by a pack of dogs at one point.
Oh, wow. One of those classes where the upperclassmen and Lewis, the presumed freshman, all are in the same class.
Yeah, everybody's in the same damn class. Okay, is it math or English?
We've skipped through two classes. Oh, yeah. Science, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be science. I'm wondering if this is the Elm Street school.
That
It
would
looks very much
be,
like the
yeah, that
hallway.
would be there too, right? Like,
All Michael J. Fox. This man was committed. And it's a nerd doing it.
mm-hmm.
The principal.
Yep. Your side of the building, like that.
Uh, and this will be a theme with Michael J. Fox in the next movie, Back to the Future. He just runs afoul of the school principal.
Yes.
I think they said, like, in foreign countries, they actually call him Marty in this movie because of Back to the Future.
We never meet
Something that will
Styles'
never
big
happen.
brother. He's 50.
This is something that will never happen in a PG teen film today.
No. Well, they don't make PG teen films anymore. So
No.
yeah. So I think that's the end of our politically incorrect 80s humor, right? Like we had the racism, we had the homophobia. They don't make jokes about, nobody acknowledges that the Pamela is having an affair with the teacher.
Nor are there any, inappropriate Asian characters.
No, John Hughes had that wrapped up.
Yeah.
So he's completely astounded, but Mick is going to make a cruel joke about it. Like,
yeah.
Mick is aware that these werewolves exist.
Or so he says.
Yes. It doesn't really go anywhere. On. Yeah.
And we have a title, folks.
I'm trying to think. Was there anything like this before this where you had a teenager? Well, Zapped, right?
Zapped. And that was rated R.
Yeah.
Even though, with TV edits, it's the most harmless rated R.
Right. I think, Jeff Loeb said that the inspiration for this was Valley Girl because you could make teen movies for cheap. And so everybody wanted to make a cheap teen movie.
Huh.
So, yes, Dad likes Boof. They hang out. And apparently they're better at basketball than Scott.
Right. See, nowadays Scott would be questionable that he wouldn't go out with Booth. Even if he, made up this lie of liking some, other chick.
Mm-hmm. Well, or does Scott now like, they only needed to do it was establish he was better at basketball than him, and that would explain his hesitancy to get romantically involved. But
yeah. This is a good scene here between them two. Go.
This is where I think I was like, oh, it is totally where they shot Halloween.
Halloween and Back to the Future. They say this is the same street where he gets hit by the car.
Oh, wow.
Matter of fact, I think they were shooting this day when Michael J. Fox went over and asked what the hell were they shooting on the next set. And they told him it was Back to the Future. And he was like, holy shit, I wish I could be in that instead of this fucking werewolf teen picture.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but at this point, he wasn't, he didn't play high school kid, right? Like at this point on Family Ties, was he out of high school?
I think he was still in high. They really
84?
stretched it. He might have just been in college.
Hmm.
But definitely by the time Back to the Future came out, he was older. Alex Keaton was older.
Because this would basically, besides this and Back to the Future, all of his 80s movies, he would try to tend older.
Yeah.
When he finally went
after
back
those two.
Yeah, to sort of family or friendly comedy, it was sort of a big deal. And it was when he sort of threw in the towel on the...
Because 87 was his big boy movie. Secret of My Success. Styles and his entourage.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the Sunglass Girls have any names.
Yeah, Tina and Gina.
Really?
And that was them in the beginning.
Okay.
They were with Booth. Nice hair, Doug Savant.
Yep. It's like a wet mullet. Very...
Like combed it with a butter knife. Oh. So, and the question is, why does Pamela go to these games when Mick's not playing?
Why isn't anybody else at the games would be another question. It's kind of like, do they increase...
they're the losingest team.
They're the losingest team, but maybe the other one, nobody's showing up for the military academy either.
Oh yeah, the academy has people,
but it's only got
a couple of rows. Look at that.
Yeah, you power on, you can do it.
And there's a Letterman sitting there.
There's Meg.
Did she tell him to meet her in there, or?
He doesn't go to that school. Like, it's very weird. I'm not up enough on my...
You see that?
What?
You see the shot where behind them, Pam was by herself. Then all of a sudden they went back.
But you can tell that that hair is not a cut, like that was applied. It's not in the second one, it was just furry sweatshirts. Yeah, this is actually applied it. And we got a lot more close-ups of Michael J. Fox where you can tell it's him. There will be stuntmen.
Oh, definitely.
They clearly made him do a lot more than
Woo!
I would assume that's a stuntman. A lot more than Jason Bateman had to do in the second one.
Whoa. Teen Wolf's got skills.
Here we go.
And we go right into a montage.
But it's only the one game. Like we actually get.
This is the in any other movie. This is the getting famous montage.
And here it's just them actually able to win a game. Yeah.
Right. Ricky, you're on the radio.
Did they have anybody else in mind for this? I wonder. Like
for Teen Wolf?
Yeah, like without Michael J. Fox, this movie wouldn't exist, right? Like,
hell no. Because it was, low budget. So I'm not. That is a good question about like who they would have considered for this. Because even for the time, Michael J. Fox was still a good get because he was on Family Ties. Yeah. 84.
So Mick was out of that last shot of her at the thing too. But now they're at dinner together.
Wow.
Yep, shoving Boof aside.
No shame. And Mick's just like, all right. Yay!
Pizza.
Werewolves eat pizza, right?
Does he have a beer?
Oh. Yeah, I think that's beer.
Okay.
It's the 80s, man. Kids get served beer in pizza joints. Hey.
It's so funny that they don't have anything like this in the second one, right? Like,
well, barely.
It's like they establish this sort of the template and then just ignore it. Beacontown High, you're right, there it is. And then here's where
right. Where he's just kind of his buddy is.
Yeah, we've missed the scene where Lewis is underwhelmed.
With his
still the vice
Johnny
principal.
Carson blazer on. Jesus. Teen Wolf is down and funky. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Woo.
Yep.
Give me some of that. Yeah. You see Styles in the shot?
I'm missing him.
You missed him? He had a hat on, like a big Godfather hat.
Well, now we've got a full... everybody's now excited to watch. All right, where's Styles in his hat? Let's see.
Oh shit! I hope they go back to it.
There it is. Yeah, I just saw it. Okay. The little neighborhood kids all want his autograph.
T-Wolf.
Chubb looking about 60.
How is it possible to look like a fat John Goodman?
I feel like, yeah, Lewis's role ended up on the cutting room floor.
Whoa. Doug Savant is G-checked.
We're going to start establishing that.
He's a showboat.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox just can't resist. There's no teen wolf in teamwork.
No. Here we go.
Here we go, the merchandise.
Yeah, I want one of those T-shirts. They got to make them like that, though.
Mm-hmm.
The logo.
Much better than the second one.
I think in the second one, he had a couple of those left over, right?
No, he had a different one. It wasn't the one with the face. Did it have
the actual Teen Wolf logo?
It had the Teen Wolf logo on it. It did not have the... It was not the one they made for the movie.
Oh. Oh, God.
Yes, it's a one-woman Gone with the Wind. Uh-huh.
Who the hell is coming to see this play?
That's a very fucked up side quill to this movie. And now we have Teen Wolf as the villainous Yankee.
It's like Uncle Tom's Cabin if somebody black played Uncle Tom or Simon Legree. Yeah, Simon Legree.
Here we go. So
and you hear it. It's he's trying to keep himself under control.
Mm-hmm.
Was she even wearing a wig?
No, she had a hat on.
Well,
PG. I don't think this would have been one of the last teen seduction scenes in a PG movie, I imagine.
Hmm.
And
don't
we get a howl at some point?
Right.
Yep.
Remember those cars? Suburban wood panel. Well, yeah, he should be good at bowling too, right?
Yep. Is this where?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Mick's gonna say some things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Great Guess Jeans commercial.
Are they drinking RC at the bowling alley too?
Yep. You see the guy that's just sitting back there looking at them?
I was just like, it looks like they're playing with other people, but they're not. There's just people sitting watching them play.
Yeah.
You would think the Teen Wolf would draw more attention if he's such a surprise, right? Like,
Scott doesn't like that.
Well, Scott's mom is presumably dead and it never comes up, right? Like,
yeah, they never say what happened, or you get something with one of the deleted scenes, but nothing,
definitive.
Right. She's just gone. She's dead. But it's probably still a sore spot regardless,
Yeah. Now we're establishing Pamela
she's just a hoe.
Pamela's got no interest in
She's literally telling him, I'm a hoe. This is what I do. This is a hoe handling hoes business. Wow.
Yep.
Go home, Scott.
Yes, and this is the misery of watching Teen Wolf play that Chubby forgot by the next movie.
Yeah, completely. He had no idea that showboating ran in the Howard family line. Oh, this is pretty good too. See, he goes in the shower as Teen Wolf. And boom. See the background?
Mm-hmm.
Comes right out. Hey, look, it's Michael J. Fox. Oh, shit. It's the name of the city. Where's my shirt with that on it? Damn.
All right. The 80s, when everybody just wanted one kind of a delivery van or another. Nebraska plates.
There we go. Now, in the cartoon, the town has no idea they're werewolves. The family at all. It's still a secret.
Huh.
And the town itself is not called Beacontown. It's called Wolverton. And it's got some weird werewolf theme for some strange reason.
Courtesy of...
Hey,
look one of those Nebraska palms. That is not Michael J. Fox.
Hell no.
That might be Michael J. Fox.
That might be him. It's woo.
Driving down a suburban street for this, I just...
They didn't get the permits that day.
Right.
Hey, look. Hi, Teen Wolf. Scott, is that you? Huh.
Is there the implication that Styles is drinking and driving? I think so.
Uh,
And
I'll
just
be
down the
damned.
street, Michael Myers stole a Halloween mask.
Oh, see?
Yep, he's
Been
letting his
neglecting his duties.
responsibilities slip.
Also in the cartoon, they have a full family.
Really?
There's a well, the mother's still gone,
Okay.
but he's got grandma, grandpa, and a little sister who hasn't changed yet,
Okay.
but she's very anxious to be a werewolf, and she's basically the Scrappy Doo of the show. No.
Here we get to talk about the mom. Because the vice principal was after her.
Mm-hmm. But there's an even better scene. It kind of repeats this, but it takes place after the dance.
Okay.
It's a really good scene, but I guess the reason they cut it. Great soundtrack.
With great, he didn't pay attention to with great power comes great responsibility. He's got to get a repeat.
This week on Teen Wolf.
Is that her dog or is that a dog from a cutscene?
Well, in the cartoon, it's Pamela's dog.
Oh, Pamela's in the cartoon?
Oh, yeah, Pamela, Mick.
Wow.
And the only people who know his family's a werewolf are Boof and Styles. It's cartoons. It's kind of sideways, you know.
Very
He's not even a basketball star,
Okay.
but he wears a Letterman jacket, which is weird. And the Michael J. Fox voice is really similar to his, but just a lot more whiny. Like he hates turning into the wolf.
I like this. I like how it's like the teen angst of the situation's interesting. I like it.
Their scenes are really good together. It's too bad she didn't show up in much else.
I wonder how much
Be
they
a harbinger
spent
of things to come.
getting this and getting the Chariots of Fire probably cost as much as entire actors' salaries.
This is a cover.
Yeah, but a cover's still not free. I mean,
but they didn't even you don't even hear the lyrics or nothing. That was pretty cool. Uh-oh.
It's like call back to a previous episode. It's like the party in Halloween 5 out in the middle of nowhere.
Where the kids pull the prank on the
cops.
the
Yeah.
cop.
So this is a high school party where there are no chaperones. I think the principal's around, but it's like we don't establish. There's like nobody else in the auditorium with them.
And we already kind of have a split kind of crowd.
Yep.
You know, his teammates are hating on him.
Boof?
Right? Look at that dude. And they already said like Mick was supposed to be older anyways.
Yeah.
They left him back or something. All right. Now everybody. Well, Lewis looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah, see, like that's interesting, right? Like you feel like there was something to that. Because he's still friends with Styles and all this stuff. Like it just seems like.
See, there we go.
Yep.
Chubby looking like one of the Blues Brothers. Or better yet, Mighty Mac Blues. Yeah, Styles. How come Styles wasn't the MC of the dance?
Yeah, I mean, what Lewis has no problem doing the wolf dance.
Right, he's doing the dance, and he looks like he's having a general good time.
Well, he's scared is the excuse, but we haven't seen anything. He hasn't seen the wolf do anything scary.
Right, he hasn't.
Like
really...
he wasn't there for the bowling ball. He wasn't, it's just like.
Now, if he was there for that, like, and walked in as it happened, I could understand.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense. Oh.
Oh, there we go.
That's all she wanted. I'm sure picking hair out of her mouth all night.
The long ass chin fur.
These fur just. You know who Booth kind of reminds me of a little? She's got that sort of Joyce DeWitt thing.
Right.
He's just trying to have a good time.
Yeah. Mick's ready to kick ass. There we go.
Okay, now this is what turns it around for Lewis.
Doug Savant getting something to do for a second. Yep. Proved Lewis's fears justified.
That quick.
So Styles much dialogue. Yep. So much dialogue for Mick on those threats.
Yeah. Farik. Mm.
So I like this too because Scott did just almost slice up a fellow student,
Yeah,
right?
he almost Wolverined his ass.
And now he's in trouble for it, which, there's a lesson to be learned. Like, yeah, this is the consequence of your action. But
yeah. All right.
So James Hampton,
Mm-hmm.
James Hampton is basically like a TV movie, non-action roles, Gene Hackman.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. Like you could see a TV movie version. Like if they made a Hoosiers TV show.
Right, exactly. Hoosiers
would have been
TV
a
show.
great.
Just what I was about to say.
Yep.
He would be TV Gene Hackman,
Yep.
the coach.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. On the TV version, they have another scene with him and the dad where he kind of makes a decision
He's
whether
in
or
the
not.
show too. Like, did they bring the entire cast in? Like, or the entire character list for the show? That's just seems weird. Like,
yeah.
So it's a full dress rehearsal. They're the only two people there. So it is a fucking one woman Scarlett O'Hara show. It's fucked up.
And you have to wonder who the hell
who's going
the school
to this,
is going to come see this
right?
shit.
No one. It's this dude who got run out of like teaching in LA because he's a creep. So he went to Nebraska. Uh-huh. Scott Paulin went on to Red Skull It Up in 1990s Captain America for what's his name? Fucking Albert Pune. I think once you make an Albert Pune movie, that's sort of just like
you bought him out.
Yeah, that's it.
Or if it's anywhere in the Golden Globus canon circle.
Yeah.
With the exception of Street Smart, because that was the shit.
Yeah. It's I don't think there's really anything comparable to Golden Globus. Like
did we forget to mention though? Jerry Levine responsible for a lion's share of episodes of Everybody Hates Chris.
Who the hell was he on Everybody Hates Chris?
He directed like most of the episodes.
Such a good show. Such a good show.
Sometimes he does a Hitchcock cameo.
Okay.
Like there's an episode where Chris and them were watching TV and it just so happened to be one of the sitcoms Jerry Levine was on.
Okay. It's the big game against Mick, of course.
Yeah, the Dragons.
There's just no...
Whoa. Holy shit.
What?
Somebody was wearing a Police Academy shirt. It literally had the Police Academy logo on it. Damn, that was fast.
Okay, so Doug Savant has been hurt. And here comes Scott. So look at those two guys behind the coach. They're like
Troy Evans in there.
Uh-huh.
He would go on to reunite with Michael J. Fox in The Frighteners, where
oh yes, yeah,
he plays the sheriff of the town.
so the rest of it's pretty much the game, but it's only 12 minutes left. So that means it's less of a finish than the second one, which had that endless boxing match at the end. Okay, presumably Lewis is impressed that he's going to be human.
Mm-hmm.
But
Styles is very concerned. We don't get a let's get him, Scott.
no, and Doug Savant has to sit out the rest of the
See, look.
the rest of the
Police
movie.
Academy
Oh
t-shirt.
yeah, look at that. I see that. That is a Police Academy t-shirt. But how long does it take us to establish that
Oh,
they
here we go.
didn't need the wolf the whole time, it turns out?
Yeah, they just needed to have confidence in themselves.
Yep.
Oh shit, Chubby's a wolf.
Yep, that's pretty much it. They're all teen wolves.
Which would have been a crazy twist, right?
Well, it's weird that you don't have, like, Mick is not, there are no other werewolves in it, right? We hadn't established, or there are, but it's only Dad, right? It's not like there's a villain werewolf, which seems like a no-brainer that they just couldn't afford the makeup, I'm sure. And now we get our 80s.
Yeah, let's kick their ass song.
Yep.
Which anytime I watch this. For a cheap movie, they did a hell of a job with it, you know.
I feel like the original soundtrack of the 80s, like, there were some really good ones, but like most of them were mediocre, right? Like,
well, yeah.
So you didn't actually have to do that much for it to be all right.
You ever hear a Stallone soundtrack that's not a Rocky movie?
Exactly. Right? Like, what's interesting about this one is that this is all one dude writing these songs that are all a variety of
different styles.
Right. Like, it's like a created soundtrack or original soundtrack, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, look at that.
This is your what's the song from You're the Best? This is you're the best thing.
Right, you're the best.
It's got a different
the Karate Kid.
Yeah, but it's got a sort of I'm Alex P. Keaton, Mick.
Yeah, I'm Alex P. Keaton. You can't beat me, Mick.
Yep, they're just better at basketball now. Thank goodness.
Suddenly.
Mm-hmm. Michael J. Fox is really good at basketball all of a sudden. Like,
You know how many times they probably had to film some of these?
Somebody says there's a cut hour of just bad basketball.
I believe it.
Pamela has been inspired to support the humans of her own school.
Yeah. Because she thinks she's going to get some more of that Scott Howard, beef in her.
Well, there's my weird cut scene potential thing we'll talk about in a bit, but.
And Richard Brooks's Lemonade is there still.
Yeah. He has had no lines
very far in the background.
Yes. It seems like they should have done a better job establishing that Scott was they're trying to get Mick to foul out too.
Mm-hmm. Put it in, Mick.
Yeah. But I feel like Doug Savant deserved to get to not be injured out here and get to play some of this, like,
because he's the one that felt so bad about.
Yeah, like
he was. Chubby went along for the ride.
Mm-hmm. Look at that!
There's that third guy that didn't have any lines.
Nope.
Number 33.
Maybe that's Malcolm. Richard Brooks looking around like, oh my God, are we running again? Like, come on.
Oh. Ah.
If this were Teen Wolf 2, we would have had to watch all 7 minutes.
Instead, okay. Is that even Richard Brooks anymore? I think they got to stand in to play him.
I mean, probably.
That's not him. It's supposed to be him, but it's not him.
It was like, I'm not doing the game, guys. You could just. Who would have believed?
See, that's not him. Look.
That did not look like Richard Brooks. No, it's Richard Brooks in close up. That's amazing. Nobody's going to tell our black guys apart. Wow.
Yeah, nobody can tell them apart. So just put them in the same glasses.
Oh, wow.
Damn. I think we just found a new flub, man. Holy shit.
Richard Brooks for the close-ups.
Wow. Now I got to check and see if it's the same number in the beginning that he played. Styles has got some people who are going to break his legs. They don't win this game.
Yeah, I'm not. There's like no drama. Like there's no wolf drama anymore at this. It's just like a teen sports movie.
Right.
If it were just about Michael J. Fox, if they were just acknowledging that he's 5'2", right? Like,
yeah, right. Not once in the movie did they say, dude, you're short.
Yeah.
I mean, even on Family Ties, they got away with short jokes.
I assume he just didn't want that to be part of his character. Right? Like he just see the Mick guy's good. Like
especially here when he knows he's just
it just sucks. Shooting. He's just mad. Like, he's just a shitty villain who lost.
Mm-hmm. It's over.
Okay. So there on the back of one of the video copies, there's a group shot of the kid.
Yes, I remember that.
Kids, right? And Pamela it's Boof.
It's both Pamela, Styles, and Scott, right?
Scott and Lewis with Pamela.
Huh.
So I'm like, did they cut that he had a crush on, or like, was that cut?
That might have been his beef.
Something like that. But it comes after this. So she would be going with.
Oh, wait, hold on.
And now she's just like, drop dead, Mick. I'm going to go hook up with Lewis. Maybe he's a teen wolf too.
Okay, where's Zipper person? There we go. XYZ kid.
There we go.
Teen Wolf. A very sullen Pamela there, you see.
Yep. And now this is going to be through the entire end credits. They show this in slow motion for some reason. Yep. They do that. Malcolm Charles Zucker. So ahead of the clerk, but
he's in there somewhere then.
There's Lemonade and there's Richard Brooks, but stunts, whichever the black stuntman was, I would assume is Lemonade for the game.
Lemonade number 2.
Right. Reaction shot Lemonade, Richard Brooks. The Berman Studios. So they would have been the ones who did not come back for the second one. Does Styles show up in this shot maybe at some point? But otherwise, no. It's just like...
No, I think they do. They go around... Because I think Chubby gets a shot and...
Slow motion. You'd think the game meant more to the high school than it did, but now we get the dramatic music.
Right, this is such a
to
close this with a song like this is like wow.
It's the Lonely Man theme from
right
Incredible Hulk.
Walking down the road.
Yep.
Bob Weatherwax was the animal trainer.
Okay.
Owner of Lassie. There's Papa Howard in the stands.
Styles, yep. Okay, all lyrics by Douglas Brayford, all music by Miles Goodman.
Wow.
And so they just had different freaking people record it.
Flesh on Fire.
Los Angeles Board of Education. There you go. Friends in Fremont. I wonder what that means. Friends in Fremont sent them the bumper stickers. There's Lewis.
Yeah, there he is.
Given it's Teen Wolf, what's happening right now is Boof and Scott went someplace to screw. Like,
yeah, they dipped out.
Yeah.
They ducked under the crowd and just went out back somewhere.
Yep. So there we go.
Yes. Teen Wolf. Classic.
All right. So let's see. Next time, we are going to be starting the Mannequin duology with Mannequin 2 on the move or just Mannequin on the move. Depends. I don't know if they've corrected it or changed it for the
or
release.
For those of us who used to go to the old Cineplex, Mannequin Ooh on the Ooh.
Yes. The
team fell off.
Lincoln Village. But
Mannequin Ooh.
Mannequin Ooh. So that'll be next time. And then
Summer of Duologies.
Yes, we will be revealing the next set. at the end of each duology. That way we don't get ahead of ourselves too much, but we've got some stuff in store.
Oh, yeah.
Not all comedies. So this will...
Oh, yeah, we're going to dig into the vault here.
Yes, but I don't know. No, I just don't know if we're going to... How after we get through this initial set of comedies, if we're going to be coming back to comedies or not. But because we've got some other stuff in store. But for now, next time we will be doing a 90s comedy to an 80s hit as opposed to an 80s sequel to an 80s hit. So we're not just sticking to the 80s, even though we easily could. And we won't be in Pasadena next time. We'll be in the city of brotherly love for some of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Philadelphia. Really? So for some of it. Though actually a lot of it. Kind of. But anyway, that'll be next time. We can talk about Chris Swanson being a piece of shit.
Yes.
Yep. Chris Swanson sucks. It's unfortunate.
The once cooler Buffy.
Very, very sad. And we will...
Tragic.
There will be some anecdotes next time, presumably, but that's
Charles Barkley would say terrible.
But yes, so Teen Wolf.
Probably one of the better, of the 80s, oeuvre. I would say it's essential to watch.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch 80s teen comedies or whatever.
Yeah. It's a non-Brat Pack 80s. It doesn't have anybody even related to the Brat Pack associated with it, right?
None, not even tangentially, with the exception, of course, of Michael J. Fox. But he was never part of that.
No, he was never in the.
He partied with them maybe a couple of times, they said, but he was never,
John Hughes adjacent. So
right, exactly.
That's that is kind of what the Brat Pack is. It's all the people plus Rob Lowe who... Yeah,
it's anybody who was in the Breakfast Club or St. Elmo's, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So you got your Judd Nelsons, you got your Emilio Estevez, Demi Moore, and Molly, Ali Sheedy. Our favorite, Anthony Michael Hall.
Yes. Yes, of course. And John Cryer.
Well, John Cryer,
Duckies.
He was considered like he was one of those like James Spader or Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. He was kind of on the outskirts, so he was. But I don't think Brett's in name only.
Yeah, there aren't any sequels to any of those, so we can't do any of those. So spoiler, folks.
No, unfortunately. Unless we could, create a Hughes-verse theory where it's just a lot of those kids look like Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, it's weird. I never know how serious the rumors were that he was going to do sequels to Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller.
16 Candles was going to be for real at one point. I think it was going to be like a USA original or some shit.
I think that got the closest, but no Breakfast Club or no Brat Pack in our.
Unfortunately, no.
No, there will be some. Yeah, we'll save it. No spoilers for what we've got planned here. But so the next time, Mannequin 2. I don't remember who directed it. Stuart Raphael, maybe, and or did he direct the first? Can't remember.
All I remember is that Meshack Taylor came back, right? And for some stupid reason, they used the same song from Starship.
They use the same Starship song, and it's the same department store, but not the same locations in that department store.
No.
Which we will, and then we'll get to. But I mean, we're heading. We haven't been in the Schwarzenegger phenomenon of the '80s yet. We will be heading into that a lot.
Yeah,
very, very much into that. So
Mm-hmm.
That will be next time. And with Teen Wolf, you can go track down the soundtrack on YouTube.
Now that it's more widely available, I think the Teen Wolf soundtrack and the Goonies went by for years and years, kind of, just in flux. Like you had to find them.
Yeah, I would imagine that the difference is that people wanted the Goonies, and with Teen Wolf, it was more that they just didn't sign. Yeah, they didn't sign a deal for the LP to be released on CD or something, right?
Right. Yeah, it was just, hey, let's get this out. Look,
everything's got a soundtrack. It's the 80s, so
get it on wax and shut up. Right. That's basically what it was. Get the LP. Because even Ghostbusters, I have the Ghostbusters record. It's not that great, but for the,
right,
the theme song and like the Elmer Bernstein stuff.
Now, the original, I never read any, but there's a lot of, I think there was just somebody did a lengthy article or post about whatever happened to the original soundtrack album. And I mean, that started in the 80s and it went into the 90s. So Teen Wolf would have been sort of toward the real beginning of it, really, right?
Yeah. Like the 90s, who did their soundtracks big was those like the Scream movies and that whole line where they promoted the soundtrack probably as much as the movie.
Yeah. And that was a thing for a bit, but
yeah, I recall even SNL jumped in and did a skit about the soundtrack to one of those.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, it was like your soundtrack was from the other corporate arm, right? Like you're promoting the internal artist and stuff. And so
if you had a MCA soundtrack, it was going to be MCA artists on it.
I'm just trying to think what the first big breakout soundtrack like that would have been. Because I mean, Flashdance would have been big, right? Like, but
yeah, Flashdance, Fame, anything with Irene Cara.
None of the I don't remember. I would have been 8, so I don't know. But like, I don't remember the John Hughes movies. Like, regardless of whether or not they had good soundtracks, I don't remember the soundtrack albums being hits. Right?
Probably The Breakfast Club. That might have been the only one.
Okay.
Because they had, Simple Minds, that you couldn't go nowhere without hearing that damn song. And St. Elmo's Fire was Joel Schumacher.
That was a big one, though, right? Like that would have been
that was a big soundtrack. That was David Foster, and
yeah, they really did that. So yeah, Mannequin 2's got a distinct soundtrack, so we will get to that too. All right, that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I hope
it's not a full moon.
Exactly. Hope it's not a full moon, and get your what are you looking at Dick Nose t-shirt.
As we say goodnight to Beacontown.
Yes, there we go. Good night, Beacontown.